I walked around, said hi to everyone, felt uncomfortable, didn't even stay for a dance, and I left. I was like, I hate it here. I don't want to be here. I asked my sister, I was like, yeah, can you take me home? She was like, yeah, and I went home. I didn't stay for any more than 30 minutes.
Man, this show might be able to top My Hero Academia for me, because this is so good.
It's like having Blue Eyes, Gravekeepers, and I don't know a third one, but it's like having those two put together in one deck. And they're dragons. And they're maids.
So it's literally just make fan art, and I can take it, and I will go make a fuckload of money off of this.
Yeah.
It's mine now. Are you ready to rumble? My tummy is itchy. Yeah.
I'd never seen you wear like a button-up shirt. It's not even button up. It's just you're just wearing a button-up shirt.
I have a gray shirt as well that I wore in my 4 months later video. I just realized no one can fucking hear me. But yeah, I usually just wear, like, I've worn this white shirt a few times. But the reason why I got this white shirt was because I got this shirt because I wanted a button-up shirt, and I got it at Mark's Warehouse. It's a Canadian store. And they sell like jeans and shit.
You know what's cool? We have a men's warehouse here. I don't know if y'all have a men's warehouse.
I think
they sell clothes too.
I think it's called Mark's Mark Man Warehouse. I got an email from them just recently. I'll tell you what it's called. Never mind, just call Mark's. So yeah, but this shirt is kind of see-through, so you can see my nipples when I just had it.
I have a North Face long sleeve, and it's see-through too, and it sucks because I have to wear a shirt underneath. But sometimes I just want the long sleeve by itself. It's tough.
So I got this white shirt to wear under it, but then when I button it up, it gives me I look weirdly like white. When I wear my gray button up, it like I look slimmer, which is why I like it. So
yeah.
And then when I'm wearing this, I feel like I just threw on a pillowcase. So
it's probably like I imagine it's like the armpit area, right? That's like kind of long, big.
Kind of. It just like flares out a lot, like a Batman cape.
Yeah. Whenever so back in high school, I was in band. We did marching band. We also did concert band. So we dressed in like the black and white suits, or not black and white suits, but like we had the tuxedo shirt, and then we had the black coat over that. So where was I getting with that? Oh yeah, shirts and stuff. So every time I would tuck in like my shirt into the pants, right? I'd have my arms out like this, and then the shirt would go from here. Sorry if you're just listening. It would go from like the edge of my arm to like the side of my body, right? And then there'd be like so much room. I'd be able to like grab it like this.
Think Spider-Man's web wings, and you're right on the money.
Yes, exactly.
You could just jump off a thing and you could glide.
Yeah, and almost every button-up shirt I have is like that, except like there's like this one black one that I really like. It's kind of old now. It's kind of raggedy, but it doesn't do that, and I really like it. And it gives me, it doesn't make me look like a Dorito. You know what I mean?
Starscream. I like button-up shirts. I had one that I bought for a Christmas party back in 2018 that I ended up not going to. But it was a sort of long sleeve, but I got it literally right before I hit my growth spurt. So I bought it, and then within like 3 weeks, it no longer fit me. And then I still have it. And I put it on again recently, and it's like, if I like suck in my gut, I can button it together, and I can put my arms through it and everything. But if I like did this, I would rip right out of it.
Oh my gosh. Call that Hulk.
And because even this, when I do this, I can feel it like tugging on my back a little bit. So I'm
getting shredded.
I'm tempted to do that and just like rip out of it, because then I feel strong. But then I'm like, well, then I just ruined a shirt. And I was like, and it's I have a lot of clothes. I went through it recently, but I have a lot of clothes that I was like, oh man, I wish I could fit into this. It's because I'm fat, but it's like I could lose all the weight in the world. My bone structure just simply won't allow it anymore for it to fit into some of these shirts. So it's like some of these shirts now are like crop tops for me. So I can't, it doesn't matter. Even if I lost weight, because the thing is, I'm definitely overweight, but I'm not like obese. Even though I think I did a test on the internet once, which is the greatest place to test stuff. It was like I think it was literally just an obesity test, and it was like your height plus your weight. So I typed that in, and it was like, "Yep, you're considered obese." And I was like, "Oh fuck." So then
well, Google also tells you that if you start coughing, you're dead. That expect to die in the next hour.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I remember looking that up when I was sick and be like, "Mom, I have a runny nose, so that means I can't pronounce this disease, but I probably have it." And she's like, "I don't fucking think so, kid." Speaking of, I just got reminded because I looked at my hand. I just told Davis a story, but I'll tell it again. It's not even much of a story. I was, how do I put this without sounding like a 12-year-old? I was playing with my action figures. I have a Bakugo figure from the Amazing Yamaguchi line, which is a line I really like. They're basically just like superposable figures. But he comes with a bunch of accessories, so he comes with like a separate hairpiece, so he can have the look where he doesn't have his mask on. And it's super hard to pop on the head. And his hair is super spiky because of the design, and it cut my finger. I don't think you can really see that, but it cut my finger. And then it punctured my hand, and I'm just like dying now. So
I remember when I was little, a lot of the toys that I had were hand-me-downs, and it was one of them was like it's like Goku, but he was like Super Saiyan 3. But the thing is, like, his hair had been broken off, because Goku in his Super Saiyan 3 has like his really long hair. It's like down to like past his butt, but
what?
A part of his hair had like been broken off. So really it was just like Goku, and then like his hair was like kind of like an Ultimate Gohan thing where it's like kind of short but it's still kind of spiked up like that. But anyways, I would like try to color it in black because I was like, Goku doesn't have yellow hair, he has black hair. So I tried to color it in black with like a Sharpie or whatever, and it looked really weird because it was like it had like the plastic yellow color and then attempts of black to cover it up, and it just looked awful. And I was like, I don't like this toy anymore, and I threw it away. He's got highlights, yeah.
I had a lot of Transformers figures when I was a kid. I still have some now. They're right there, all the Transformers I have. But I used to have a lot more, because I was a big fan of the Michael Bay movies. They're not very good now because I'm sophisticated now. I'm wearing a button-up shirt. But do you ever watch the Batman Brave and the Bold cartoon?
No.
That's fair. But it was a show from like, I want to say like 2010. And the rendition of Plastic Man, I got a figure from in a Happy Meal, and it was really cool because it was a little Plastic Man, but his arms could pose, and like they had like a little bendy wire in them. So it was real cool. And I remember, I don't know why we went to the beach, but I grew up in Nova Scotia, so you're like right on the water. You're surrounded by it. So I went to the little beach thing, and I remember I think I put the figure down in the sand because I was like, oh my god, he's standing up, and then a wave hit, and I never saw it again. And I remember crying because I was like, no, my action figure. Because I think as we were leaving, I like looked out, and I saw him like bobbing in the water, and was like, no.
Oh no.
But I also don't know if that was him because it was like this big maybe, and I was a child. So it's like, and it's the fucking ocean. And I was like, I don't know if it was a friend of mine that I went to school, like that I saw at school because I told him about it, or if I just like had a dream about it, that I was like, oh, it probably floated all the way to Australia, and some other kid has it now. And he's having fun with it, and I'm like, okay. I think it was my friend that told me. I think he was trying to tell me that to make me feel better, and I was kind of like, okay. And I remember thinking to myself,
Well,
no,
I would have just.
no, yeah, it definitely was because I remember thinking to myself because I was like, well, it's great that he has it, but I want it. It's my action figure.
I would have said it's a lost cause.
So yeah.
Dude, the last Happy Meal toy I remember was they had done like a Bakugan toy line, but they're not like exactly Bakugan. They're just they're cheaper plastic renditions of Bakugan.
Bigger ones? I remember like
they're like kind of
plastic.
bigger. They're kind of like
the size
this size. They're kind of this size. Actually, they were slightly bigger. They were pretty big.
Because I had real Bakugan or Bakugan, and I had the some of the McDonald's ones, and I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, the McDonald's one, and they weren't magnetic either. You had to push a button for them to open, or at least the one that I had. I also didn't get the one that I wanted, so I was kind of sad. But I was in Walmart, and I had told my dad, "Hey, Dad, I kind of want some McDonald's," and then he was like, "Okay, yeah, I'm feeling hungry too." So we go to McDonald's. I get the Happy Meal. And I I'm like playing with the Bakugan toy, and he's like, "You just wanted the toy, didn't you?" And I was like, "Yeah," but it was nice, and the food was nice anyways.
I was
made
that
me happy.
Kid, with McDonald's, it's always been a part of my life. It's the reason I look like I do now. But McDonald's, I would get we would like that. Every once in a while, you get a girl toy, and it'd be like, "This is stupid," and I remember being so salty that it wasn't a boy toy. But I'm like, that sounds weird. But I'd be so salty because I'm like, man, I don't want this stinking Barbie doll. I want a cool Batman. But also, my mom would bring McDonald's for lunch fairly often. In like 3rd and 4th grade. Excuse me. Oh my god. Ugh. And in class it was like, "Oh, Matthew has McDonald's," and it'd always be like, "Hey, can I have a fry?" It's like I haven't talked to this kid all year, and it's like, hey, can I have a fry, please? And it's like I think my sisters, last time my sisters got a Happy Meal, which would probably been like a few years ago at this point. I remember the fries being like this big, like they were like the size of toothpicks, and there was like 4 of them in the little carton.
Bruh.
But this one was like normal size, so I'm like, even if I gave a fry to every single person in this classroom, there's like 20 of us, then I'm like, well, then I'm gonna have none for me. So, and I remember there was this kid that I was friends with. He taught me how to play basketball. He was like, "All right, I'll be your bodyguard. You just gotta pay me in fries." So I would.
What the heck?
I remember I gave him like 4 fries, and then people would walk up and be like, and he would. I'm not kidding. I'm just fucking remember this now. He would stand by my desk, hands like crossed like this over his like stomach, like a bodyguard. He was just missing the sunglasses, little thing coming off his ear. And people would be like, "Hey man, can I have a fry?" And he's like, "Sorry, we're not giving out any more fries." It's like, oh my God. Again, this was like 3rd, 4th grade, but still. So
what a guy.
Yeah, I have not talked to him in like 7 years, but I hope he's doing good.
I went back to my elementary school when we were doing our little graduation walk at our respective elementary schools, and I went inside the building, and the ceiling was like, I could literally touch it with my hand. I was like, wow, this school is actually so tiny. Of course, when you're a kid, it's just, oh, it's a big school. I walked in there, I was like, I feel like a giant. This is what it's like being 6 feet tall.
Gotta duck in through the doors. I looked it up recently, because like me and my mom were just talking about like schools, or just like talking about like elementary school and stuff, and I was like, I wonder if my school has changed at all. And I looked it up, and they like completely rebuilt it. Like it looks gorgeous now. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, a lot of schools and stuff have been remodeled. I think Kay was telling me that like her school got remodeled, and then her friends' schools got remodeled, and then my schools got remodeled. It's crazy.
No, like it got like I think it got torn down and rebuilt. But I remember when I was in 5th or 6th grade. So the way it was laid out was our elementary school was right here. Then there was a junior high literally across the street, and then a high school just in like diagonally from that. That high school got shut down. When my brother was in junior high, he went there, but then that got shut down, and then he went to a different place that was way further out, and he had to take a bus. And then by the time he was going to high school, they had built a new high school that I was gonna go to, but then we moved, so I didn't, and I don't know how great it was. I literally never saw it. I saw the middle school, which I heard was terrible, but anyway. But there was like an oil spill, or like I don't know if it was oil. There was some kind of
like
something.
an oil leak. Or a gas leak or something.
I think it might have been a gas. There was something that went wrong in the gym, which the gym that we had in elementary was a basement. It was just the basement, and there was like big cement pillars in the middle that they wrapped mats around so kids wouldn't fucking die running into solid concrete. It had like a little stage on it that me and my friend had to make a dance to Party Rockers. Or Party Rock. Anyway, and it was fairly small, and it's like there was a couple of assemblies. I think like you could barely fit like all the classes in there. It was fairly small, but then the junior high across the street had like a massive gym and everything. Anyway, so yeah, there was something that happened at that school, so everyone had to get moved out of that school. So they're like, "Can we just like borrow the junior high for a bit?" And they were like, well, "It's just collecting dust, so go for it." And the gym was great. And then once everything moved back, I think this was in 5th grade, because once everything moved back, they still use the junior high for like dance nights and stuff, or school dances rather. And I'm having fucking flashbacks now to 6th grade, because I'm like, oh, because I remember there was such a big. It's stuff I look back now and I was like, it's so fucking stupid. But I remember in 6th grade, all my friends were getting girlfriends and everything, which it didn't mean anything. It was like, oh, we'll hold hands at lunch. Ooh. Like, that's basically all it was. But there was like a weird pressure to get a girlfriend, and I was too nervous to ask anyone out. So I went to the dance alone. I had a purple plaid button-up shirt. And I showed up to the dance, and I was like, oh, it'll still be fun. I'll get to hang out with my friends. And then we hung out for a little bit. The slow dances are always the most awkward part. One, it's awkward just in general. And two, I'd just like sit on the sidelines and be like, so like, hope they're having fun. But yeah, I remember there was like my best friend, he didn't really care for like dating or anything like that. And he had a girlfriend. I only use quotes because it was just, again, it's 6th grade. It's like, none of us even know what a girlfriend is. So anyway, and everyone was like really wanted them to kiss, and they like surrounded them, and it was like, do it. And they did like that little like peck and then run away kind of thing. And it's like, again, I look back on that now and I'm like, holy fuck, that was terrible. Because I remember them both being so uncomfortable with it. But yeah, 6th grade was weird.
That's crazy. The first dance I went to was in my sophomore year of high school. So like when I was in the 10th grade. Yeah, 10th grade. I went alone because a lot of people were going. A lot of my friends were going, but I didn't realize that all of them, had their little girlfriends or boyfriends. So I went. I got to say hi to all of my friends and their significant others. So I'm like, okay, well, I feel great just being everyone's third wheel tonight. So I walked around, said hi to everyone, felt uncomfortable, didn't even stay for a dance, and I left. I was like, I hate it here. I don't want to be here. I asked my sister, I was like, yeah, can you take me home? She was like, yeah. And I went home. I didn't stay for any more than 30 minutes.
Okay, middle school, I remember I sat on the stairs for like most of the dance. But I lived like 20 minutes away, so no one could come and pick me up. So I just I remember I sat there the whole night, and I barely talked to any of my friends because they were all dancing with their pals, or their pals. They're girlfriends. But yeah, no, I don't know. Again, it's like it's stuff I look back on because I'm like, man, that was the shit I had to worry about. Because it was like, oh, I have to find a girlfriend for the dance. Everyone's gonna think I'm a loser, but it was like people think I'm a loser whether I have a date or not. So it's like doesn't fucking matter because now I'm like, I'm supposed to be an adult now, and it's like so far this sucks ass. So I'm like, oh, it's stuff that it's like it doesn't mean anything. But at the time, it's like this is the most important moment of our lives. Is going to this dance and dancing with someone, and it's like big fucking whoop. Like
I almost guarantee you that most of those couples are like, you know, they're probably separated. They're like, oh, I'm probably with someone else now, or like they ended the relationship for dumb reasons. It's like I saw you looking at this girl, and now we're gonna break up.
There was I feel so bad, but I do it even now, but actually, I mean, I'm sure you're aware of this, but I'm like, I always have my head that it's like, that I'm like, oh, I'm ugly, so no girl could ever like me or be attracted to me or whatever. And in my first week of middle school, like I had just moved, there was this girl that everyone, like a rumor drugged up pretty fast. Like, again, I was like, I think it was like my second week there. It was very early on, but I had sort of fallen into not really a clique, but like there have been some people that I was like kind of friends with. And then there was rumors going around that this other girl she was kind of like the popular girl had a crush on me, which I was like, no fucking way. And I was like, oh, she's cute. But I was also like, no, this is a prank. But then, I think she had said to me, like directly that she had liked me, and I was like, oh. So then it was like, usually from there, it's like, I like you, you like me, let's date. And I didn't know what to do. So cause I think she texted me that, and I was like, oh God, I don't know. And I remember everyone at the lunch table, which is funny. Cause like all those people, I don't like, half of them are people that I don't really like, but that's also unfair to say. Cause I'm like, it was in middle school. I was a little shit in middle school. Anyway, but they were all like, no, stay away from her. Stay as far away from her as you can. She will date you for like a month and then dump you and then move on to the next guy and then talk shit about you. And I was like, oh, fuck. Okay, I don't want that. So then I said her, I was like, no. And then she was sad and I felt bad. That did not mean to make that rhyme. But anyway, so
Dr. Seuss.
So I was like, so I look back on it and I'm like, well, I think I was in the wrong because I'm like, maybe that's what would have happened, but also maybe she wasn't a I don't know what you'd call it, a diva, I guess.
I guess you could see it both ways. It's like if you take the shot, you know, you've taken the shot, and you either go up or down from there, right? Yes. Which is kind of weird to say. It's either like you stay together, whoop-de-doo, or you break up, whoop-de-doo, you know? Either way, you kind of end up in the same situation. It's either you have
down every relationship ever.
You either gain a girlfriend or like you don't, and you're back to square one. It's not like anything worse happens, you know what I mean? But also, if you want to avoid like the drama and such, you know, that's okay too, because sometimes you just don't want to get into that, and that's okay too.
Zuko. Hi. I have some stuff that I've written down that I wanted to talk about today. I'm gonna briefly touch on this because I wrote it down because I had just finished an episode, and I'm like, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, I don't know. I briefly mentioned to you, so I've been watching Soul Eater recently. I talked about it a little bit in the last episode. But Soul Eater has been very good. I really enjoy it. It's a great show. I'm not done it.
How
yet.
long?
I got like.
How long is it?
There's 51 episodes, and I'm on episode 39.
Oh, there you go. Wow.
So I'm almost done that. There's a spin-off show called Soul Eater Not. That's 12 episodes that I'll check out, but it came out like 6 years after the original. So I don't know what it's all about. But anyway, and I'm like, as I'm watching this, I'm like, man, this is like really solid. And I was like, because I was like, right now, as I'm watching this, I'm like, I would give this like a 9 out of 10 as I'm watching this, assuming nothing really changes, like the ending isn't completely abysmal, or there's like nothing that's like super dumb. Because I'm like, even if the ending is like not that great, I could usually forgive it. Some like, you know, it's not the destination, it's the journey kind of thing. Yeah, with Soul Eater, I'm like, man, this show might be able to top My Hero Academia for me because this is so good. So I wrote it down. I was like, can Soul Eater top My Hero Academia? ? And I was kind of like, well, maybe once I finish it and I think about it more, potentially, I might rank it higher than My Hero Academia one day.
It's
but
crazy.
I think the reason for that is because I haven't watched the anime since like March of last year. So it's
Are you talking about
year.
My Hero or
My Hero Academia? Like rewatching the show. I watched season 5 as it was airing.
So you haven't seen My Hero Academia since last March?
Yeah, well, I haven't watched seasons 1 through 4. I watched season 5 when it was airing, but I also didn't love season 5 as much as the other ones. I didn't think it was bad. But the other thing is that I'm reading the manga right now, and the manga just isn't that good. Like, it took a turn, and I'm just kind of like, eh. So I'm watching a show I really like, and then reading this pretty much week to week, and I'm just kind of like, I don't know. And I think that's why. Especially because, like, season 6 is getting animated this year, and I'm like, I know for a fact when that gets animated, I'm going to be like, never mind, fuck everything I was saying. This show is incredible. So... yeah, I don't think Soul Eater can actually top it. I mean, it's also a little unfair to compare them because it's like one's 51 episodes and Soul Eater is finished, and My Hero Academia is 100 episodes currently and still ongoing. So I'm like, I don't know, but it definitely has potential. If the ending is good enough and My Hero Academia ending is bad enough, then there's potential for Soul Eater to top it. But I also think it's just a case of me just watching more anime as I've watched a lot more anime since I first watched My Hero Academia.
Yeah, your taste is probably a little bit different now.
I still like
plus you're an adult.
That too. But Soul Eater is I don't know. There's like I really want to talk about it. I think I'm gonna make a video on it when I finish it because I really want to talk about it. And it's a show I think you should check out. I don't know if it's exactly like up your alley, but it's pretty cool. So I also recommend anyone listening to this. It's a good show. It's decently short. It's not like 7 million episodes. But the pacing so far has been pretty solid. There hasn't been too much. I mean, again, there was some fan service early on that was kind of strange, but now, like, I haven't really noticed much fan service since, like, the early episodes. So I don't know if it was, like, someone stepped in during production, was like, maybe we don't do that shit. So, but, like, overall, fan service hasn't been that bad. But, yes, Soul Eater is a good show. I'm enjoying it. I talked about that way longer than I was expecting.
The closest thing I can think of to Soul Eater is like Shaman King, and I mentioned this to you about it, Matthew, but to me the idea is like the same. In Soul Eater you have people that can turn into weapons, right? In Shaman King you have these spirits that you can integrate into whatever weapon, or they use the term intermediary, so you can put their spirit into that object, and then you'd be able to use the object and then kind of transform it. So what the main character does is his spirit is a samurai, so his intermediary is a sword. He can take the spirit and then change the sword into like this gigantic sword, or I guess whatever he wants to. And it's really cool. And, it's like one of those transformation anime. They have different transformations and whatnot.
Yeah. I collect Figma figures as well. I told you about this. I saw some Shaman King action figures, and I was like, "Oh, cool!" And I wonder what it's like a little ball of like fire with some like samurai headgear.
Yeah, his name is Amidamaru. pretty cool guy, honestly. I like their transformations. One of them is like he just turns into like an arm, with a sword, and it's got like the samurai shoulder plate thing. So it's like the shoulder pad, and then also like the blade, and it just looks really cool because it kind of reminds me of if you've ever seen like Sasuke from Naruto, like his whole like what's it called? They're kind of spirit Susanoo or something like that. There's that one with like the big purple guy that kind of wraps around the body. So it's kind of like that. And I thought it looked pretty cool.
I haven't watched Naruto. It's on my New Year's thing.
I haven't seen Naruto either. I just seen a lot of like screenshots of it and stuff.
Speaking of screenshots, this wasn't what I was going to talk about next, but it reminded me. I've been trying to stay off Twitter because Legends Arceus is out.
Oh, the spoilers are insane, dude.
I've avoided pretty much everything so far. But I've heard like everyone talking about how amazing the game is, and I'm like, I just want to fucking play it.
Yeah, the game looks pretty good.
So I haven't.
I get mine tomorrow.
I haven't seen any really footage. I've seen like a couple trailers, but other than that, I haven't seen any footage. I've seen my sub box of everyone playing it, and I've seen people on Twitter talking about it. But so far, managed to avoid it. I get my game tomorrow, and I'm gonna play that, and I'm very excited for it. Because I can't wait either. It seems like just a new spin on Pokemon, which sign me up.
A new spin on Pokemon's always welcome. I mean, I played Pokemon Conquest when that came out. It's kind of like Fire Emblem in a sense, where you can it's like tactics kind of thing. You move your people.
Oh, turn based, yeah.
Yeah, the turn based stuff.
I have Fire Emblem Three Houses is the only Fire Emblem game I have.
Yeah. I was playing Pokemon Conquest and someone was like, "Oh, are you playing Fire Emblem?" I'm like, "No, I don't know what that is." But the gameplay is pretty similar. But yeah, that's a different Pokemon game genre, I guess you can say, that I've really enjoyed. And I'm glad that Pokemon is like taking another step into like a different genre by doing like open world stuff.
Well, I'm curious to see what the gameplay loop is like, because I remember watching the first trailer and seeing the Pokemon trainer dodge roll and losing my mind because I was like,
yeah,
it looks like Dark Souls. I'm kidding, by the way, before anyone's like, because I hate it too, how everyone compares every game to Dark Souls. But I don't know.
It's just a meme.
I know the game looks really good though, and I'm excited to play it.
Yeah, I can't wait to post up with some random Pokemon, just beat them up.
Yeah, again,
I don't know if you actually can do that.
I'm curious to see how it's gonna work. I'm curious to see what the main quest line is, if there even is one. I feel like there has to be, because I'm like, I don't know if there's gym battles and stuff. Is there?
I don't know. But I read, to stay spoiler free, I read that a lot of like the UI is a lot better. Instead of having to mash buttons waiting for Pokemon to level up, it just happens automatically. So that's a really cool thing. And then there are some settings that you can change to make the gameplay kind of smoother, because when you're catching Pokemon and stuff in an open world stuff, it kind of locks you into a Pokemon, and then it'll ask you if you want to throw the ball at that Pokemon, right? Sometimes it's annoying and you just want to aim at a Pokemon that you want, so they give you the option of turning off the when they ask you, so that you're able to choose whatever Pokemon you want to catch. Because I saw this clip where someone was trying to like shiny hunt something, and then they missed the ball, or they missed they caught the wrong Pokemon because of that little feature. So yeah, they have pretty good like UI stuff. So I'm pretty excited for that.
I didn't even think about shiny hunting in Legends Arceus. But
yeah, they just pop up. I feel like I would miss quite a few if they happen to be on my screen. Oh, look, a red Gyarados. Oh, it's gone.
Something I wrote down was the fact that, unless there's something I'm missing, but like pretty much my most anticipated games for this year are coming out like right now. Like Legends Arceus, Dying Light 2, and Elden Ring all come. Like Elden Ring comes out February 22nd. It comes out in February, like late February. Dying Light 2 comes out next week, and Legends Arceus comes out right now. And I'm like, beside like God of War Ragnarok looks pretty good, but that doesn't have like an official release date, so I have a feeling that's gonna get delayed to 2023. Breath of the Wild 2 looks sick, but also I feel like that's gonna get delayed. And a lot of people are saying Legends Arceus is very similar to Breath of the Wild, which is why I'm curious to see how the game runs, because Breath of the Wild on Wii U ran at like 720p and ran kind of iffy. It was like 30 FPS in like some mountainous areas, and then it would like drop to like 5 in some boss fights. But then on the Switch, it ran at 900p and ran a little bit. I don't want to say smoother, but a bit more consistent, I guess. It was less like going from 30 to 5, and it was more like you go from like 30 to maybe like 20, but then you go back to 30 pretty fast. So it like balanced out quicker, at least I found. So I'm curious to see how Legends Arceus runs. So I'm hoping it's gonna run fine, but also the Switch isn't like that powerful of a console.
Yeah, you were talking about that with me the other day. I mentioned that like Master Duel, it's another game that we've been playing. I mentioned Master Duel like runs pretty slow on the Switch compared to like my PC. You had mentioned that like the Switch isn't, you know, powerful like that. And you know, I was playing on my PC. I'm like, wow, this looks really good. And I don't know if you saw, but Pokemon, they said they were going to come out with an online TCG client too. I mean, they already have one. It's called Pokemon TCG Online, but they're going to come out with a new one that's going to be for like mobile as well. And they said it's going to be, you know, better than like how it was before. But people were complaining about like the not like the graphics, just like the way everything looks, right? Because you take a look at Master Duel, the music's phenomenal, by the way. Whoever composed that, you did a really good job. The music's phenomenal. The feel looks amazing, and the graphics looks cool. It's really smooth. Everything runs awesome, right? They even have like little, like small stuff like pets. You can have pets on the screen, or like little accessories you can add. You know, just like a little twist. That's really nice. I love the customizability. But with Pokemon, I know it's like early screenshots, so it's probably not fully developed. But like their character profile system thing, it looks really weird. Like for a game coming out in 2022, I think you could probably do a little bit better. Especially like I understand people were complaining about Legends Arceus when their first screenshots were coming out, right? But it wasn't nearly as bad as what the first screenshots of this new online TCG thing looked like. It looked pretty bad. I'll try to show you later if I remember. But yeah, Master Duel, really, really cool. And I think it's really worth the hype. The hype is kind of dying down, you know, after the first week, but it's still one of my top games this year for sure.
I gotta be honest, and maybe it's just because I'm having a bit of a funk with Master Duel right now. It just hit me with a 1, 2, 3 wombo combo, because I've been playing a crap ton of Duel Links. I got super into Duel Links back in November. Basically on a whim. You were just like, hey, you should check out Yu-Gi-Oh! And I was like, alright. I've only seen
I totally forgot about you just started playing Duel Links with me. I just
casually downloaded it, and then like a couple days later I was like, hey, this game's really fun. And you were like, awesome, we should duel. And then the rest is history. I genuinely didn't, because I'm not like, I don't like follow many Yu-Gi-Oh! Accounts or any at all really. I didn't look up much on the internet. I basically just like took like what you've told me and just like from messing around.
I remember you had played Inscription, and you uploaded a video of Inscription on your YouTube channel, and I was like, hey, this is just like Yu-Gi-Oh! And you'd mentioned Blue Ice White Dragon. I was like, hey, you should play some Duel Links because it's pretty. Would you say Yu-Gi-Oh! Is close to Inscription, or would you say it's? Oh, still? Okay, interesting.
I haven't played Inscription in a while. but I definitely think it's similar. Maybe just because of the tribute feature.
Yeah.
But Duel Links it's been a lot of fun. But I think the thing is I got so used to that. I had heard literally nothing about Master Duel, and then you just like mentioned it to me, and then I went on Steam and was like, "Oh shit, this like literally just came out."
Yeah.
So I checked it out. I played a little bit, and right off the bat, I was like, "This looks great," but it was like, and I still stand. It looks great. The 5 thing is weird. 8,000 life points, 40 cards deck, and that sort of stuff. There's a lot different about it, but I do think it looks very nice. I really like the different environments. Duel Links is all the same like blue void, but in that, or I guess sorry, there's some some events and stuff. Duel Links will change it up, but in Master Duel, I like the different looks. And again, it runs smoother than Duel Links. Duel Links stutters fairly often. It just feels like Master Duel is a bit more optimized for PC. But the thing about Master Duel is just, Chris, like such a scrub here. I'm just bad at it. Like I'm fucking miserable at Master Duel.
Another thing I want to mention about between like the PC version of Duel Links and the PC version of Master Duel is that like Duel Links is literally just a mobile game, right?
Yeah.
But then for PC they throw in it helps to have these screens, but it's literally like the mobile screen, and then on one side it's like the card you're using or the card that you're interacting with, and then the other side is like it's like a duel log, so like it keeps track of what actions have been made and stuff, or like whatever's on the side. So really I like that Master Duel is just like, it takes the screen and it takes advantage of how big the screen is instead of Duel Links where it's just like in the center. I mean, it's fair because Duel Links was originally like a mobile game, and then they converted it to PC. And of course, if it's vertical like that, you can't really just turn it sideways and call it a day, right? Because the layout of the field is like different. It's not 5. There aren't 5 monster zones. There's only 3, right? So it's gonna be slimmer. It makes sense, right? But I like that with Master Duel you can see like the field a little bit more clear because it's full screen.
Yeah, you get the only weird thing is that for some reason every time I open Master Duel it auto sets it to window mode, so I gotta like every time I open I gotta switch it to full screen.
Everyone's having that problem.
I don't know why it does that. It's a little annoying, but what you gonna do? But yeah, so Master Duel recently I was like, hey, I want to build my 6 Samurai deck because that's the deck it's the first like deck I like built in Duel Links, and it wasn't bad. It has some flaws and it definitely has some holes in it, but for the most part, it wasn't bad.
It's a really good deck for you to start with.
And then I was like, okay, I want to build it Master Duel, so it's like, how do I do that? And I did some digging, and I started opening up like the master packs and just opened a shit ton of those because I had like 20,000 gems. And then I didn't know that secret packs run after 24 hours. I was a bit bamboozled by it. There might have been a thing on the side. I guess I just didn't look because I didn't think they would go away. So yeah, I got all I did that, and then I went through the solo mode, and I'm stuck at 2 fights. It's like the Xyz summoning bugs, and then the pendulum summoning machine dinosaurs, and they are kicking my ass. I've tried every possible combination. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go build I'm missing some stuff for my 6 Samurai deck. I'm gonna go rebuild that, make it a little bit better, come back, and I'm just gonna beat it that way. Because this deck is too big brain for me, I guess. And I went to go do it, saw the secret pack was gone, was like, what the fuck? And then got mad because I was like, I have to spend more money or gems on stuff. And it's like, but it takes so long. It takes so many gems to get to that point. So by the time I it's fucking gone. So I can't even open the box.
I think you went about it really inefficiently, because there's a much easier way to get the secret pack.
Maybe so, but
when the game came out, I instantly did my research. I was like, what's the best way to do this? Because with gacha games, where you have to get something by chance, right? Like packs, there's a lot of planning and stuff involved with like what packs you open and how you do this, because it's like gems are such a precious resource. Gems and like crafting materials. I used to play Vanguard 0, and it's literally the same thing. They have I don't know if they're called gems, but you have like a gem resource that you can use to buy packs for free. And then you also have these crafting materials, which the crafting system's a little bit different. So you know how cards will have different rarities, like you have just a regular card, or it could be like glossy or prismatic, so it'd look a little bit more shiny. So with Vanguard 0, you'd only be allowed to get rid of or dismantle all the shiny ones, so they're called SP. But you're not able to get rid of like the I think you can get rid of the basic ones, actually. I take it back. But there would be some cards that you'd want to get rid of that you aren't able to. But then in Master Duel, you can dismantle anything if you wanted to, even if you only have one copy of it. The only thing is, what I like is that they don't allow you to dismantle all the structure deck stuff, which is nice, because I was like, I don't want to accidentally get rid of the structure deck stuff, but I tried to because I was running low on materials, and they were like, nope, you can't do that. I was like, great, cool. I didn't want to anyways, because I still want to keep the deck just in case I want to use it later.
Yeah, I will say some of the structure decks are cool. And
the ideas it gives me more knowledge, learning about each different deck, because I know Blue Eyes, Six Samurai, and then like some gimmicky weird Gravekeepers, among other smaller decks that I have.
Honestly, I would rather have Gravekeepers back. That I can get around.
No, Gravekeepers are actually in the game. Most of the cards are in the game, actually.
I meant when I fight you. I was referring.
Oh, you want me to use Gravekeepers tonight?
That trap deck. I would much rather have Gravekeepers back after that nightmare.
Oh man, yeah. That's another thing. Master Duel doesn't have skills. Yeah, character skills. Yeah. It'd be cool if there would be like a profile that you could make, like if you could make like an avatar or something, right? I understand you don't want to include like the skills, because this is supposed to be like a simulation of real Yu-Gi-Oh, right? You're not going to have skills. But at the very least, I kind of want like my own little profile avatar picture thing that I can customize. It literally has nothing to do with the game, but there's something on the side there. It'd be cute.
I could definitely see that, because I feel like that'd be fairly easy to add.
Yeah, the game kind of feels a little incomplete, if I'm being honest. Not so much like the content, like there's a lot of solo content. They have like the rank ladder, but it feels a little empty, because when you look at a game like Smash Bros or something, they'll have different modes. You have like the not free to play, but like the room that you can make with like all your friends and such. You can play online, sometimes casually or competitively, and then you can do like other stuff too. But then in Master Duel, they only have like they have the rank ladder. You can still make like your duel room with your friends, but then if you want to play casually, I guess casually you would make a duel room, but you can't. There's no casual battle option if you want to fight people like online, right? You'd have to do it like in a duel room, or you do like the solo stuff. But that's about as much casual dueling as you get, right? So.
Yeah, the thing for me is like Duel Links, you have the worlds, which give a nice change of scenery every once in a while. But you got all the different characters. I guess it feels like you're working towards something when you level up your stage and you're leveling up the characters and stuff. It feels like you're constantly working towards something. With Master Duel, it's just kind of like, I don't know. Once I get to the solo content, I'm like, I don't feel ready to jump into ranked duels. But I'm also like, I gotta be honest. I guess it's just Yu-Gi-Oh in general, but some of the really try-hardy decks you'll encounter in ranked are just kind of like, eh. Like
Oh,
the
yeah.
decks that like you literally lose if your opponent draws the right amount of cards, you literally lose turn one. You can't do
I thought your
shit.
sentence was gonna be literally if your opponent draws, they win. Like that's that's every game, honestly. That's why a lot of people like going second. Actually, I don't know if that's a fact. People like going second.
I
a
like
lot
going
of
second.
one feature in card games is that they won't allow the player going first to draw a card. You know, because whoever goes first has like an advantage of putting cards down first, right? So then they give, you know, a little bit of a reward for the player going second by letting them draw a card. That's kind of like the mechanic that a lot of card games share, because they found out like, hey, it's more balanced this way. It's cool. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. There's just a lot of things that's like turn one, they have like 4,000 attack monsters on the field, and it's like, oh, okay, well, I guess I might as well just fucking surrender now.
Oh my gosh, I want to keep the deck that I'm making a secret. Actually, back up. So I have 3 accounts right now. I have a PC account, you know, my Steam account, and then I have 2 Switch accounts. One I use for I'm playing through Shining Pearl right now. One is like my main save file. The other one I just use for shiny hunting, right? So technically I have 3 accounts that I can use for Master Duel. The Steam account, right, has Elemental Heroes. It's probably the worst deck to build if you want to be free to play. And that's because it requires a lot of cards from separate, what do you call them, secret packs. I think you need at least from 2 secret packs. And then, of course, you need to craft other stuff too. But if you're trying to invest in that hero deck, you're going to need a lot of gems, a lot of materials. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I think I have like 10 materials left. I've, disenchanted everything or dismantled everything. I'm like out of materials. So that hero deck is kind of incomplete. I don't even have like the major staple cards, the ones that go in every deck. But I have the most of the core. So that's one deck. That deck's pretty okay. I can get out whatever monsters I have. It's cool. The one account on my Switch that I use for shiny hunting is they're like Ghost Samurai. It's called Shiranui. So you take like the main point is that one of the monsters is able to synchro summon from the graveyard, which is really cool because you could just send a bunch of monsters to the graveyard and synchro summon from there without having them to be on the field at the same time. You know what I mean? So that's cool because they're like Ghost Samurai and then they have really cool effects. So that's cool too, but it doesn't pop off as fast as the hero deck. But it was a lot easier to make because they literally give you a structure deck with like most of the cards, and you just have to get something. The rest of the cards are from one secret pack, and you just have to get a few of those, or like craft them, because there's only a few of them. But the one that I'm focusing on the most, right? This is like my favorite one out of the 3, and they're called Dragon Maids, and then You had mentioned to me before the episode you had seen a clip from Miss Kobayashi Dragon Maid, and the first thing that came to mind was my Yu-Gi-Oh deck, because my mind's been on Yu-Gi-Oh this whole week. So Dragon Maids, how they work is you have literally maids, right? They're dragon types, but right before, like at the start of the battle phase, they transform into dragons. And then these dragons, I'm not going to say like 4,000 attack. They have like 27,000 attack. Or not 1,000, sorry. 2,700 attack. Yeah, no, it's not that crazy. But they're like the boss monster of these dragon maids is able to like negate almost anything, right? It's kind of like the Six Samurai guy. But she has like, I think 3,000 or 3,500, one of those attacks. So she's really strong. And, once she negates something, she can, swap herself out for her maid version, which is not as strong. It's almost at 3,000 attack. But she can, she can summon stuff. So there's a lot of summoning going on. And then at the same time, with like the maid version of like the boss monster, when you send something back, or like when the dragons transform back into their maid forms, or vice versa, you're able to get rid of stuff. So the deck is pretty strong, right? They have high attack. They can save themselves from destruction, and they can get rid of stuff from the opponent's field. So it's like literally the easiest deck for me to pick up because I love all three. It's like having Blue Eyes, Gravekeepers, and I don't know a third one, but it's like having those two put together in one deck. And they're dragons and they're maids. So that's literally one whole list of pros of why I like this deck. The cons, I heard it's not like the most competitive, like the highest tier deck. But I mean, it's a pretty fun casual.
This is just my deck
it's still gonna win me games. Don't get me wrong. Like I heard a lot of people reach the highest like platinum rank with Dragon Maids. So it's definitely possible. It's just gonna be it's just a little bit harder, right? But the deck it's been pretty fun. Right before I got into a call with Matthew today to record this podcast, I was doing a duel, and the duel took me so long because I was literally summoning things back and forth. I filled up every slot on the field, all 5 slots, including like the 6th slot up there, where you can put like extra deck monsters. So I filled up all those slots, and each time it was asking me like, do you wish to activate this effect, to change it from maid to dragon or from dragon to maid. So it was like that for like 20 minutes.
There was a solo deck that I don't remember exactly the AI, but it was there was a lot of effects involved, and I got lazy because I kept losing. It was like my 4th time playing it.
I think a lot of the decks have effects.
And I just started clicking yes to activate everything because I didn't feel like reading anymore. And I just didn't understand, so I just kept saying yes, and I won because it was like I was like, oh, whatever, sure, activate it, and it was like, all right, which card do you want to destroy? And I was like, oh, hold on a second, and then I won because I don't really know how I won, and I don't remember the deck.
Was it Gem Knights? Was it
I want to say Gem Knights, but I also don't really remember.
Were the monsters blue or because if they're blue, I'm thinking ritual monsters, or are they like gladiator beasts? Gem Knights, they have like a lot of fusion monsters.
Honestly, I think there was fusion monsters, but I also don't really remember. I'm not even kidding. I'm completely blanking. I just remember. What's in my head right now is just the big. Would you like to activate the effect, yes or no? And that's just all that's stuck in my head right now. Because that's all I remember. Because I was watching videos and I was just kind of like, oh, what the fuck ever. And I just started saying yes to everything. And then it was like, victory! And I was like, oh, sick.
Yeah, the duels kind of take a while, if I'm being honest. I mean, it's just because it's always asking you if you want to activate an effect or not. I think there's a toggle that you can turn on and off that can stop asking, have it stop asking you, but of course you're probably going to miss the timing if you get it wrong, right?
Yeah.
That's why I always keep it on. But I heard there's a way to make it to know what cards are in your opponent's hand by toggling something. So it'll see like, oh, like if it's waiting for an opponent for a response during a certain like condition. Does that make sense? Like, oh, if they summon a monster or something.
If it's raining, it'll no shit.
Yeah, like if they summon a monster and then they have like a pause, then like, oh, they can probably stop the summon if they wanted to. Stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yu-Gi-Oh is
fine? Question mark?
I was freaking out or not freaking out, but I was surprised because we had said the exact same thing.
Oh,
sorry. But yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh is really fun.
It's fun, question mark. It's fun depending on my mood.
It's a lot of reading, that's for sure.
It's fun when I win. And it's fun when I'm not fighting. What's his name? Is it like his name always looks like
Odeon.
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 Yeah, when I'm not fighting him, life is great.
I mean, I could always put the deck on some other character, you know what I mean? Just wouldn't have that annoying skill.
Yeah, that deck in general.
It's the skill that burns 200 each time I use a trap. And I'm using the whole trap deck. It's crazy. It's insane.
Life is pain. Something I wanted to bring up, because I thought it's fairly short. It just kind of like, well, actually there's two things I saw on Twitter. The first one's anime related. The other one's not. It's just stupid. So Sea-Dog VA, or Connor, he's on the Trash Taste podcast, and he's a voice actor. He made a tweet.
A voice actor? What the heck?
Yeah, he's a voice actor as well for, he's done some shows, not the shows that I haven't watched, but I know he's done some shows. I've seen some clips. Anyway, cool dude. So he tweeted about Demon Slayer, and Demon Slayer Season 2, or the Entertainment District arc, has been awesome. But he tweeted because the animation has been crazy, and the tweet was literally just like, it was like, oh, is Jeff Bezos funding this season? Like, what the hell? The animation's crazy. Something along those lines. And I saw that tweet, was like, oh yeah, no, the animation's awesome. Liked it, moved on, right? I come back to it, and he posted a twit longer thing of being like, okay, this has gotten out of hand. And I was like, oh, okay, I wonder what this is about. And I was reading, and I was like, hold on a second. That tweet has people coming after him now? Because there was people then going after him, and the dogs are barking, that were going after him and being like, oh, here's another anime YouTuber that doesn't know how animation works, and it's not the budget that makes the animation so great, and yada, 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 and all this stuff. And it was like, holy shit, man. Like, are you kidding me? It was just a tweet about like, hey, Demon Slayer's, the animation's great this season. And it was fun, like a funny, like, haha joke. The budget's very high, or like the budget must be insanely high. And that was it. And everyone was like, dog.
The internet is full of people who don't understand sarcasm or jokes. You know, they think everything you post is like facts and stuff, or like serious. It's not always serious, man. Someone, you know, whenever I tweet something silly or funny, I always have to, sometimes I have to preface that it's a joke, right? Or else someone's gonna be like, well, actually, it's like that. I know. It was a joke, Einstein. Thank you.
Oh, what was it recently? Oh god, what's that? Oh, my finger bleeding? Oh no, it's just turning purple. Okay, that's good. I was gonna. What was the tweet? I was gonna tweet out something.
Was it about Yu-Gi-Oh?
No, the Switch thing. Someone tweeted, they were like, oh, where do you stand on the Switch? And I was going to make a joke that it was like, oh, you're not supposed to stand on it, Lamau, but I was going to have it out of order. So it was going to be like a haha, like, so it was going to be like, supposed to not your stand on it, Lamau, or some shit like that. Stupid fucking joke. Anyway, and I was going to tweet it, but I was like, well, then people are going to think it's like, oh, you're just copying this joke. And it's like, yeah, that's because everyone's copying the joke. So I was going to copy it, but I was going to do it wrong because it was like, haha, stupid. But then I was like, maybe I won't do it. Really, I don't have to worry about that because I got like 3 followers, but still, I was just like, just in case, I don't want to risk it. But the other thing I saw on Twitter, and this one just has pretty much gotten on the backlash that it deserves. Now, I listen to Billie Eilish's music like here and there. I've listened to a few of her songs. I don't really...
I've listened to Bad Guy and then a few other ones.
I don't really have much of an opinion on her, I guess. I'm just like, okay, she's doing her thing. Good for her. But she posted a video saying that she was partnering up with Adobe to do a fan art competition, and she's going to pick the best designs, and it'll get featured on a shirt for merch for her tour, which was like, okay, but she's not paying anybody. So it's literally just make fan art, and I can take it, and I will go make a fuckload of money off of this.
Yeah.
It's mine now. And I'm like, I don't know about that one, Sheep. And then everyone else is like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, she has more than enough money. She's like 20, and she's rich as hell. She has plenty of money. If you want to do a fan thing, that's perfectly fine. Doing like fan art competition or whatever, that's cool. But then it's like, but saying that just because you post it, I now own this because you posted it on this like entry thing. This is mine now. So even if you don't win, I can then just later go back and use that for a design anyway and make money. because she has a huge audience. So I'm like, holy shit. And everyone else is like, what the fuck's wrong with you? And she hasn't said anything yet. And Adobe hasn't said anything yet. But I'm just like,
Yeah, that sounds wrong.
Because the thing is, like, there's a lot of like of her fans that are gonna be like, I don't give a shit if Billie Eilish is like, she notices me. That's all that matters. She acknowledged that I exist. Life is complete. And it's like, yeah, I guess, but it's the whole thing of just like, I'm gonna pay you in exposure. It's like, that doesn't pay my fucking rent. Like, you know. So I'm just like, oh my god, I cannot.
I mean, the idea was cool, but I guess
a fan art thing is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But it's just like then being like, no, it's just mine and I can profit off it and I'm not going to give you jack shit. It's like, I think preferably, I guess, yeah, like best case scenario would be like, hey, you get royalties. So like it's your design. I think that's how most those kind of things work.
Yeah.
Yes. It's like, oh, I made this shirt design, so I get this much off of every shirt that gets sold or whatever. I don't fucking know. Unless it's like, unless you can outright buy the design. I don't know how business works. But still, I'm just like, just being like, hey, can you guys give me merch designs, please? I just need to make some money. More money, I guess. And it's like, okay. She did like a documentary that I watched like a couple snippets of that I was just kind of like, okay. She seems like, again, I don't really have any, like, I'm not going to dogpile her because I don't really need Billie Eilish stands kicking down my door. Because I'm like, again, I listened to some of her music, was like, okay, this is cool. And like, that was that. But I'm just like, after seeing this stuff, I'm just like, that's, I don't know, it rubs me the wrong way. And I'm just like, it's like, stuff like this is like, so this is why I deleted Twitter. And I'm like, I'm thinking about doing it again because I've been starting to wake up at 6:30 again. And my alarm goes off. I sit up. My alarm goes off. I sit up, and then I scroll through Twitter for like 40 minutes, seeing like nothing basically. And I usually get out of bed because I'm like, oh, I should have started my day 40 minutes ago. So I guess now I'll get up. Yes, Zuko, what is wrong? I know. I think my mom just got home. But anyway, so that's all I want to talk about with the Twitter thing. It was just like, I was just, I don't know, baffled at how stupid Twitter somehow always wants itself.
I started following, since Master Duel came out, I've been interested in Yu-Gi-Oh! A little bit more, especially since I destroy Matthew in Duel Links every day. But I started following more Yu-Gi-Oh! People on Twitter, and it's been kind of cool because they they talk mostly about Yu-Gi-Oh! But some of the stuff is like kind of related to what I've experienced before, because I played Vanguard a little bit. I played it a while back when the new Vanguard format came out. It was called Overdress, and I got into it. And then at one point I stopped going because it wasn't, COVID got me a little bit worried. A lot of people weren't wearing masks in there, and plus like the competitive format of Vanguard was weird back then because they had just released it was set 2, and then there was like 3 months or 5 months between that and then the third set that had just recently came out. And so the meta, people were complaining about the meta of the game. It was like, yeah, it's pretty boring and lackluster. So a lot of people had like put down the game, or they had put down the format and changed to a different format, which was getting a little bit more popular. So Vanguard for me was like kind of iffy in that sense, where it was like, okay, well, if not a lot of people are enjoying this game, then like I feel I need to move on with like something else as well. Because I was also like, I have my deck and it's fun to play, but also nothing's changing, right? I go into a tournament every week, I play a few people, and I leave, right? It doesn't really change. It doesn't get any more interesting because a lot of the matches are pretty much the same at this point. Because the amount of variety in this format is not nearly as much variety as in like Yu-Gi-Oh! there's a hell of a lot of variety in Yu-Gi-Oh. Like a lot.
Yeah.
You can anything you can think of. Yu-Gi-Oh probably has it. In Vanguard, there's only like, I mean the numbers have increased since then, but when the game had first came out, there were like 10 decks you could build. 10, right? And it's 2 from each. They're called nations, right? But they're kind of like factions. So you have like kind of like a red one, green one, blue one, whatever. So the game was just kind of like, okay, you can choose from one of these 10, and that's it. And obviously you can build more than one deck and play with those, but you can't play 2 decks at the same time, you know what I mean? So it's like your options are so limited. And so I picked up Yu-Gi-Oh, especially Duel Links, because I had played Duel Links when it came out in like 2017. There were a lot of decks that were fun. They had Blue Eyes, they had Dark Magician. I love those guys. They're cool. I recognize them, right? Because they're iconic. So I built decks around them, and there are other decks that I could build too. So I built those, and I was like, hey, this is fun, because Yu-Gi-Oh just has so much more variety. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can throw in any card and just come up with some crazy weird combos. But then with Vanguard, it felt so restricting, because another thing is you're only allowed to use if you're building a deck, you're only allowed to use cards of the same like color or like faction. So you can only have like red cards or like green cards. You can't mix them up unless they're one of those like generic cards. But then with Yu-Gi-Oh, there's so much flexibility. You can come up with combos that no one's ever seen before. You know what I mean?
I put some vampire guy in a Deskbot deck, so
yeah. So that was so weird. That threw me for a loop. Like you can have some weird like you could be playing 6 Samurai and then throw in some Machine Dragon, and then it's still a good deck. You know what I mean? There's Yu-Gi-Oh has a lot more tools when you're building decks, but then Vanguard is just kind of like, here's a hammer and a nail. Go cut this piece of wood.
Build a car.
Well, I'm kind of enjoying Yu-Gi-Oh a lot more now. Although I'm not sure if I'd get into the physical game. It's still kind of intimidating, because I heard like card prices are a lot higher than what they are in Vanguard. Because Vanguard was made to be a little bit more affordable, at least with the recent format. But then Yu-Gi-Oh, you have like 23 years of Yu-Gi-Oh. That's a lot to catch up on.
Yeah, I don't know for sure. I got back in, or I got into Yu-Gi-Oh like 2 months ago.
Yeah,
a month ago.
You're enjoying it. I mean, I had tried to get you to play Vanguard Zero. I don't know. I stopped playing Vanguard Zero too. I really enjoyed it when it first came out, and a lot of the stuff was like kind of simple back then. But I put down the game for a little bit. What's up?
I said when your scene says Vanguard Zero.
yeah. I used to stream Vanguard like a lot when it came out, like literally every
I
week.
remember you telling me. I think it was during the verses that you were you were streaming it like fairly often throughout most of the day, every day, and then it was like
and it was really fun. And then at one point, like it wasn't that the format has changed, but I guess you can say like Vanguard was entering like a new season where they would introduce a new generation of cards. It's kind of like how in Duel Links you have like different worlds, like Yu-Gi-Oh, you have Yu-Gi-Oh GX 5Ds. So it was kind of doing that, where Vanguard was kind of transitioning. And the thing with Vanguard Zero, it kind of moves too fast for me, because it's every month they come out with a new box, right? And you think it's normal at first, but then like it doesn't really give you a chance to like catch up, you know what I mean? So if you were to try to hop into the game now, I don't think you'd have a chance of being very successful unless you put in some money, because you would have to have collected materials and stuff from like the beginning of the game. And the game right now is like, it's advanced so far, it's in the G format, it's advanced so far that's like kind of hard to catch up. So you can maybe build a deck or two, but I don't think you get too far. But then with like Duel Links, they'll give you so many new player rewards. and it's
Ooh,
really
yeah.
cool. But like any card online mobile gacha game, whatever you want to call it, resources are pretty limited, so spend them wisely.
Yeah, that's the other thing about Duel Links is that, or Yu-Gi-Oh in general, is I'm like, I don't see myself getting into another game like that, especially a card game. Pokemon, I might consider it. If they do make a Yu-Gi-Oh Duel Links type thing, I might consider jumping into that. But you said something earlier about multiplayer stuff that reminded me, because I got an Overwatch poster on my wall. I used to play the shit out of Overwatch, because before I moved here, I had like no internet, so I couldn't play online. And I used to play online fairly often. I played the shit out of Modern Warfare 3. So I moved here, I got Overwatch, and I started playing that like 12 hours a day. And then I stopped playing Overwatch because Blizzard's kind of going down the sinker, but then Xbox just bought them, and apparently they're fixing some stuff, so I'm like, okay, if Blizzard stops becoming a super evil company, I will consider supporting them again. But a game that I don't want to say recently, I started playing it a little bit last year, and then I fell out of it, was a game called For Honor, and they just announced some new stuff that looks pretty sick. It's basically like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like a battle simulation. So there's 3 factions. You got Vikings, Knights, and Samurai. And basically you just like charge in and fight. You got different like heroes kind of like, so it's similar to Overwatch. It was similar enough for me to be like, I could make enough connections for me to be like, all right, cool. But I just picked the Samurai guys because I'm a weeb. And then run it, but like the way the combat system was really interesting because like you'd have like, so you have to position your sword right, so there's like a little 3-prong thing, so you just use the analog stick to like position your sword to the side, so you do a side swing, and then depending on how they're blocking, you gotta adjust for that. It's hard to explain, but the combat system is really, really cool. And I was just thinking about it recently that I want to get back into that game. I saw it on sale on PC, but I have it on PS4. So I might have to not crack open my PS4. I might have to plug it back in. I was trying to say something really cool, but I fucked it up. So I gotta plug. I just want to play on PlayStation again and play some For Honor, because apparently the game just added pirates, which sounds interesting because I'm like, don't those guys got guns? If they do,
are the mechanics different for every faction, for each faction?
More or less, like they have different moves and stuff. So you got like, but each faction has like your like middle of the road, like pretty all rounder. You got your speedy guy, and then you got your heavy attacker. I played the speedy guy because it was just so fun getting combos. You'd run in and you just like switch, so you're like slicing, they go to block that, then you switch, so then you're doing like an overhead slice, and then it's like you just like get this epic combo where you absolutely obliterate them. And it's like, it was so satisfying like going up against another player and then winning.
Nice.
You can also there's like different moves you can do, so you can like knock them off the cliff and stuff if you're positioned right. But the battles just felt like they felt like actual battles, but it was always like terrifying when like his like pals would like group, because like the main thing is like you would like go to capture these points, but it'd be terrifying to go attack a guy because he's on his own capturing the points. Like, all right, I can do this, and then his pals show up, and it's like, I can no longer do this because like your team's on the other side of the map. There was one game I did. I'm like, remember how much fun it was. But there was one game I did where like we all had some like fucking Soul Resonance, Soul Eater reference, where we all like happened to just be like, all right, let's all stick together. We like, there was no like verbal communication because none of us had mics, but all 4 of us did a loop around the map and collected everything. And the enemy team had split up because it was like, okay, you go get A, you go get B, you go get C kind of thing, and then someone else go get the middle. Is usually how it goes, and that's what I normally do. But for some reason, there was this one time that all 4 of us, so we just ran through it. I just remember seeing one guy sitting there, like capturing the point, running around in circles, like looking around for someone, and then all 4 of us running at him. And he's like, "Oh shit!"
Oh, gosh.
And then because they would all, because like usually they'd run away, but it's like you catch up with them, and then it's like you fucking gangbang them, and you just like, all right, on to the next one. And like the 4 of us stuck together, and I remember being like, it was like the easiest game I ever had.
Oh my god.
Because there was like one time like they had regrouped, but I guess we were just I don't know, we were just on some next level gamer skill because the four of us like
X Games
like
mode.
like conquer and like divide and conquer. It was awesome. And I really want to play that game again, so I'm gonna re-download that when I can. I want to buy it on PC, but someone's knocking on my door. So yeah, For Honor is a good game, and I want to play it again. And I think it's on sale on Steam right now, and if it is, I might have to buy it. Oh, hi, kitty.
Oh my gosh, it's so big. Wait, what?
Kitty.
I thought the kitty was like...
Hey, hold on, guys. All right. Zuko gets super jealous when there's another animal in this room that isn't him. All right, anyway. So
when you were talking about what was the game called?
For Honor.
For Honor? For
Yes.
Honor. FOR space HONOR. I was about
10
to misspell
points.
that.
10 points
10
to
points.
Gryffindor.
Awesome. So when you were talking about For Honor, I thought about one of the games that I used to play with my friend back in high school. Yeah. It's called Vainglory. I think I've talked about it with you once. It's kind of like League, but the map is a little bit smaller in a sense. There's instead of 3 separate lanes, and it's instead of 5v5, it's 1 lane and 1 jungle, and then it's a 3v3. I think they also implemented like a 5v5 thing, but then shortly after they did some stuff. But back then, he and we used to like we'd get into a call at like 7, and I think we'd call on like Skype or something, because he didn't have an Apple
Skype.
iPhone. Yeah, he didn't have an iPhone, so we couldn't do FaceTime, but we still like wanted to like chat and stuff. And I don't think we had Discord at that time, so we used Skype. Hello. And we would just destroy. We would either destroy other people, or it would be like the fault of the third guy. It's always the third guy's fault. Oh, that
All right.
that looked awful.
All right, Kat. I'm gonna need you to get off my. Are you okay, Zuko? What are you guys doing? Holy shit! What is happening in my room? What is wrong, Zuko? Holy shit, man! All right, I'm gonna need you to calm down, Buster Brown. Holy crap! All right.
But yeah, one day, the company.
Sorry.
It's weird. The company had like, I don't know if they changed ownership, but someone had bought them, and they lost the server somehow. Don't know why, but one day they were just like, oh no, everyone's stuff is gone. And so now all we're able to play from that is like this community edition, which is like, it's the bare bones game. You can still play the game. You're not going to be able to have a team with your friends though. It's just random, like you get thrown into a match with 5 other people, you duke it out, right? You don't even get to rank up and stuff, and you don't have like your own account. It's
Isn't
just
that-
like, it's just a game you log into and you play, and you don't get anything out of it, and it sucks because it was like literally my favorite game ever.
But like, isn't that crazy with everything going digital? Like, I was thinking about yesterday because I pre-ordered Legends Arceus, and I'm like, there's a pretty good chance that like Legends Arceus is like the last physical game I'll buy. That's a total bullshit. But but I was thinking about, because I was like, well, buying games digitally is way easier, especially during a pandemic. I don't gotta fucking leave the house. I buy the game. I would be playing Legends Arceus right now if I didn't have to go get it. It downloads like a few days before, it unlocks at a certain time, and then you can just play it. I've done it a couple times with games, and I love it. But I'm also like, with everything going digital, it's kind of crazy how like, obviously there's backups and stuff now. Like, people are usually careful about it, but like,
Yeah, but no one ever. I hardly ever see a person go, oh, now that I have this, let me back up my data so that I can.
Yeah.
No, they're gonna play the game.
yeah,
and
but
not
it's like
think about backing it up.
Yeah, it's like, isn't that crazy that like some like intern could just be walking by and be like, oh shit, oh god, I just deleted all the servers, the game shut down, I'm so sorry guys. And they're like, Jesus Christ, Jerry, now we're gonna go bankrupt. And it's like, oopsie. Like,
That'd be awful. That'd be so awful.
But I don't know. It's crazy. Like Dark Souls 3. This is kind of off topic. Had a random attack recently.
An attack?
Like a
cybersecurity attack?
Like a Cyberpunk 2077. No, but basically what happened was that I saw it on Twitter. I was playing through Dark Souls 3 again because I realized I hadn't done the DLCs, and I was like, fuck it, I'll go fight Sister Freed, which was a mistake. But anyway, there's an online for Dark Souls, but it's not like you can, like, other players can invade your world and then just come kill you. So it's fine.
Okay.
You're playing along, you're playing the game, another player invades, and then it's like, shit, got to fight this guy now. And the player skill can vary because you might run into a guy that like has barely played the game, and you're like, okay, this is gonna be a cakewalk. And then you run into a guy that like all he does all day is just like PvP, jump into worlds. And if you're unlucky enough to be on his radar, and he just joins, and you just get absolutely clapped. And it's like, all right, well, there goes my 40,000 souls. Thanks, dickhead. Anyway, but there was a thing that if you played Dark Souls 3 online, then they could just like I don't know the whole thing, but FromSoft shut down the servers because people could just like, I guess, just get into all your computer information and everything just because you're playing Dark Souls 3 online. Whoa. So there was a lot of people that were getting like their home address and shit, like, and everything on their computer just like hacked because they were playing Dark Souls 3 online. I was like, thank fuck I decided to take a few days off from the game. Like, and it was like, if you play it offline, you'll be fine. And the servers are shut down now, so no matter what, you're going to be playing offline. They might be back on, but I haven't seen a tweet about it yet. And what's funny is there's a lot of people being like, so does this mean Elden Ring is going to be delayed again? I'm like, I mean, I hope not, but also I don't know if that's exactly what they're worried about.
So
if their games are...
It's the same company, right? I'm assuming.
From Software. But yeah, so it's scary shit, man. Hackers are terrifying. That's why I'll never own an Alexa.
They have so much power.
Because Smart House terrified me. And I don't really need that. You give your house a voice, or Monster House as well. I know that's not an Alexa. If it's a dead lady, but still same thing.
I mean, Alexa could be a dead lady.
Yeah, I know. Conspiracy theory. Are we onto something here?
I saw this. One video. This lady.
Assassin's Creed symbol.
This lady tried to pretend that they had gotten an Alexa, but not really. So she would go around. Yeah, she would go around doing like all the tasks that the husband was saying, but then the husband knew the whole time.
Yeah.
It would just be so funny.
I know what video you're talking about. Alexa, can you make me a coffee? Yeah, of course. The guy's like, oh, I can't believe this is working. Oh man. Yeah, no. I don't know. I've yet to own an Alexa. Siri freaks me out enough.
Yeah, for some... Okay, so I have my Siri set to, I think the British female voice. Sometimes she'll tag out, and then the guy will come in, and I'm like, who are you?
What the fuck?
So it'll be like, turn left on this street, and then
turn right on this street.
she'll tag out. The destination is on your right. Who are you? Who are you? Yeah, sorry. I'm so bad with accents.
Hey Siri. Hey.
You kind of have to ask it something first.
Siri. No, you just say,
I got
Siri.
clowned on. My coworkers clowned on me for still having a home button. Because I have an iPhone 8. I have an iPhone 8 Plus, and I still have the home button on my phone. And they're like, huh, he's still got a home button. I'm like, oh, well, you suck. Oh, man.
Oh, I didn't close my camera. Whoopsies. I don't remember what I was going to say. But, we're exactly at an hour and 30 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I talked about everything I want to talk about today.
Yeah,
I don't know if you have some more stuff.
Covered everything, too. I don't know if you guys would notice, but we're recording a little bit later because this morning I had a little bit of an emergency.
My window doesn't. There's no light shining through it today.
No light.
Because it's dark.
But yeah, it's definitely the vibe is a little bit different recording in the afternoon/evening. I'm not like groggy, still waking up from my very short rest and stuff. I feel awake. You know what I mean?
I don't. I've been up for 12 hours. I'm tired.
All right. Oh, this looks like a good place to wrap up. Thank you guys for tuning in to today's episode of the Shūmatsu podcast. I think it's the first time I've ever said Shūmatsu podcast in like a month or a few months.
Probably. I don't think I've ever said it on an episode. Next episode, next week, we're going to talk about Legends Arceus for an hour and a half, most likely. So
I sure hope so. I think, you know what's cool? Kay also gets her Legends Arceus game tomorrow, so maybe
first
tomorrow we can all
wins.
play together, huh?
I said first one there wins. First one to get their game wins.
Oh, I gotta wait for someone to send my game to my mailbox because Target's shipping it to me. I gotta wait for them.
All right, well, I just gotta hippity hoppity in my car and drive on down to my local EB Games and be like, "What's up? Give me my game." And they're like, "Hey, what's up, tough guy? Here you go." And I'm like, "Hey." And that's how every interaction goes. And then they ask me if I want to pre-order a game, which I'll say no. But
GameStop would just ask me if they'd like to, if they want me to sign up for a membership. I say no, and then they start harassing me about it. They're like, "But you could save so much." I'm like, "No, thanks." That's why I don't sign up for shopping mall credit cards. You know what I mean?
I have an Edge card.
What is it? What is the Edge card?
It's EB Games rewards.
Oh, what a loser!
Quick story about that before we go. It's platinum, right? And you're supposed to work your way up. You start at red, gold, platinum, onyx. I did not work for that. I wanted to get a red card, right? I had said to them, I was like, "Yeah, can I get an EB Games card?" And the dude was like, "For sure." And then they charged me $15, and I was like, and they gave me a platinum.
So is that like so 15 is like the basic one?
No, you're not supposed to pay any money. You're supposed to get it for free, and then just as you buy games, you work your way up. And then platinum, you get discounts and stuff. So I paid $15 for the year, and I was like, "The fuck?" And I remember my brother being so mad at me because he bought games all the time, and he like worked his way up forever to get gold, and was like, "Let's go!" And I was like, so I got this platinum one, and I accidentally bought, and then he was like, "You sure, guy?" So that's that story of why I have a platinum card.
That's
that
cool.
I pay like a semi.
I think GameStop, they just do like your phone number. That's it. They're like, to save your store credits and such. There's no cool flashy card.
I went to EB Games so often that I would walk in and they would literally be like, "Hey, Matthew," and I'd be like, "Hi," and they're like, "You enjoying Neo 2?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's pretty good." So
you're just coming in to get your Legends Arceus game.
Yeah,
you're like, "So how's this game?"
I'm gonna walk in and be like, "That's me," and they're like, "Awesome, here you go. Give us $100."
I bet they'll probably have that package waiting for you. Like, it's at the front door. Take it.
No, when the pandemic hit and I didn't have a job, I didn't go there for like a year, and then I remember I came in and there was a new guy working, and I was like, "Oh no, are all my friends no longer working there?"
Oh no.
But then I saw them again and they didn't say anything to me, and I was like,
"Oh no.
I guess I'm not a valued customer anymore. I'm not spending my entire paycheck at EB Games."
All right.
Anyway,
we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.
Bye.